What's up, guys? Episode 119 of Rizzology. Long overdue. It's been quite a few weeks since I did my last episode. And the overarching theme of today's episode is just getting shit done and not waiting for things to just be perfect, to make that piece of content, send that text to whoever you want to send it to, solicit the business if you're an entrepreneur for the ability to work with a company or a brand or people in general. When we wait too long and we wait for the conditions to be perfect, the opportunities kind of just sail away and they miss. And not every piece of content, not every text, not everything is ever going to be perfect that you put out there. So consistency is what rewards people in the long run, showing up every damn day, doing the damn thing. And entrepreneurship has really taught me a lot about that. I'm still a student and I always will be. I feel like I'll be 80, 90, God willing, I make it to 90, 100. I feel like I'll always be a student to the process of life because, it's tough out here. I mean, we have a limited amount of hours in the day. We have a limited amount of time on this earth to do what we want to do. And at the end of the day, we have to really just be satisfied and happy with what we put in each and every day. And there's going to be a lot of days where you're happy with the amount of work that you put in. And there's going to be a lot of days that you don't love the amount of work that you put in. And you could have grinded a little harder. So the last couple of months, since about, I would say July to August, was a building phase for my business. I really focused on acquiring new clients, working with a lot of different brands that I maybe hadn't worked with or neglected working with because the opportunity just wasn't fully in my court at the time. And thankfully, those relationships have really blossomed into something that's been awesome. However, the downside is when you start to really focus on a business, especially when it's your own, things like fitness, personal life, and everything else seesaws in the opposite direction. And one of the things that I'm always actively trying to do is have a really clean balancing act of both. Like, I want to be a great professional and entrepreneur and run my company and work on the business, not just in the business, but I also want to be a great jiu-jitsu practitioner. I want to be a great tactical games advocate down the line. And I want to do a lot of really cool shit at the same time. And you have to really play this balancing act when there are forces that are pulling you in both directions of your attention. And we only have so much attention to give each day. A lot of ways, it's signs from the universe to maybe expand and grow in different ways that you weren't anticipating or thought that you were going to have to. I'm long overdue to have some people come on my team to assist me with some of my content creation for clients because truthfully, you get bottlenecked at a certain point, and you can only work with so many clients, get so many edits out, within a day to weekly basis before you just can't do any more. I mean, so that's the blessing and the curse of growth. And I've been focusing more and more on the mindset of things because when you have a strong mindset in general, it really does propel all the other areas of your life forward. So, if you have a why me or a looking at everything negatively type of a mentality, which I've been in plenty of times, on and off, you get hot and cold sometimes, you attract that type of energy to just keep coming to you and nothing but bad shit starts showing yourself. Anytime you've gotten into a car accident, or I'd put a gamble on most times that you've been in like a fender bender or a car accident, either during that day or leading up to it by that week, you probably weren't in the best headspace. You were bitching about work, you were bitching about a relationship, you just weren't feeling great. And it almost like attracts that negativity. I mean, that's at least for me and a lot of other people that I know that I've spoken to about headspace, mentality, and whatnot. And I think it's just a matter of learning and consistently trying to grow and evolve. These are so played out in a lot of ways, but they ring true. And these are why these topics like this are constantly talking points for people that have channels on YouTube, have headspace and mentality type mastermind groups. It's the same theme, just on replay in different areas. So I want to create an episode to kind of just speak to everybody and get some content out there. I have some episodes that I had planned for quite a while now that are actually going to be occurring tomorrow, next week, the following weeks. So the lineup right now is Francesca is going to be coming on tomorrow on Rizzology. She'll be episode 120. I'm very excited to sit down with Francesca in the studio. You're in my apartment right now, which is the first time I've ever done an apartment cast, so it feels kind of weird to be sitting on my couch with a mic stand and just a couple LED tubes. But once again, if I waited for it to be perfect, going to the studio, sitting there, getting my lights that I'm used to, I think just getting the message and the content out there is what's really important. You know, there's people that have a VHS camcorder, let's just say. I mean, not actually being able to post to social media with that, but let's say they're using a cell phone. They have a cell phone, and I have a $15,000 camera rig. And maybe we have the same message that we want to get out to people, but they got it out on their phone just like that. And because the message was already put out there, it was well received, people are sharing it and whatnot, I put the message out there later because I was waiting to get my setup kind of going and get the perfect lighting and the perfect backdrop and all this different types of no noise and whatnot. I thought that waiting was going to make the production quality that much better and thus give me more of an audience, more likes, more shares, more subscriptions on the YouTube channel. But because I waited too long, the message just isn't the same. So I figured I'd sit down. I would give you guys a little heads up of what I have coming up and going on. I have the boys from 8well coming on the following week. John Panetti coming on the week after that. So next week, the boys from 8well. I think there's going to be 4 or 5 of us total on that podcast. So that'll be kind of crazy in the studio. Have a good time there. And then I also have a couple of people that are going to be recurring guests that you guys know and love that I've had on the channel plenty of times. Jamal, Tom, Dayron. I'm going to be doing another episode with Dayron, hopefully in his new gym, Metabolic, out in Comac. So that'll be actually a little location type podcast that I'm looking forward to. But besides that, I mean, life is great. You know, we have to count our blessings, even though we hit road bumps and road blocks. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I don't want to misquote the guest because he was phenomenal. It was Dave Asprey. And he had on, I guess he used to work on Google's, some type of team for Google, but it was Mo Gaudat. And he was just talking about how we have this overarching type thought process to always think in the negative with our brain. And it's not really our instinctual, it's not really our intent to have these types of thoughts. It kind of just happens. So when your brain kind of gives you a negative impulse or a negative thought type of response to something that goes on, like your boss sends you an email and it's instantly like, well, that's it, I'm going to get fired. Or, you know, the girl that you're talking to hasn't answered for a few minutes and it's like, well, that's it, she ghosted you, it's over. His standpoint and one of the techniques that he uses is, as opposed to just allowing those negative thoughts to just come into the mind, he actually says, well, tell me something good, brain. Like he'll actually talk to his brain and he'll say, tell me something good. You know, what is that real is another way that he puts it as well. Is that actually what's going on? Is that real? And then you almost get that sensation of reality coming to you where it's like, no, I'm not getting fired just because an email came in. How can we correct this? Or she's probably busy. Actually, she's probably busy. Although there's some girls that definitely ghost and they're not very busy. But you guys get the theme to what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is whenever we have these negative thoughts that come in our mind, which is a constant thing because I don't have the statistic on me, but I'm 99% sure we have more negative thoughts than positive thoughts in a day. But we can actively try to combat that statistic and have more positive thoughts, but you have to work at it. It's like a muscle that you have to train at the gym. It's like getting to do your journal every single day, reading every single day, getting through those emails that you don't want to do. Eventually, you just get these things done and you feel better when they are done. So you have to train that muscle to kind of push forward and just get things done and do it. So I'm making a challenge for myself to just push forward and try to have more positive thoughts and continue on a path of just more enlightenment and lightheadedness. It's so easy to just think in the negative, and we have to all break out of that and just stay in the positive, because not only does it affect you, it affects everybody around you. Let's be honest. We all have that negative person that we know, the person that just sucks the life out of you every single time that they're around, and nobody wants to be around that person. So you don't want to be that person. We want to actually be the opposite of that person. We want to bring light. We want to bring joy. We want to bring happiness to other people around us. And by doing so, by training our internal to constantly do that, we're able to then reflect it outward. So I say all that to say, we have Francesca tomorrow, 8 Well Boys next week. I'm going to start doing some more solo episodes and getting better at this side of it. This is definitely not a challenge, but it's definitely more difficult because I like to just have conversations. But I do believe that there are messages that I hear. There are things that I want to share with everybody, either things that I've learned or things that I'm going through actively that I feel as though would benefit a lot of people by watching. And the subscribers are ticking up on YouTube. I appreciate every single person that does subscribe, that listens to even a millisecond of my podcast or my episodes on YouTube. It really does mean a lot. So I appreciate the fuck out of everybody for doing that. I have a couple of bullet points that I have here, and in typical Nick fashion, you know there's no editing on this. So the need for something to be perfect, nothing ever is, just go out and execute. Same thing with like money too. Anytime that I've had deals come through for people soliciting me for business and saying, I want you to shoot XYZ for my business. I want you to do this project. I want you to do that. Anytime that I've waited too long, it falls through. But if I execute exactly when it comes in, and I'm not saying drop everything that you have to do in a day to just get something like that done, but don't let days pass, because as days pass, excitement starts to wane. So if you can hit on that high note of people wanting to work with you or do something with you or someone to go out on a date with you and whatnot, hit that off like as it's at that most exciting peak, because as time passes, we're human beings. We get less and less interested, and eventually the excitement wanes off to nothing. So definitely execute in anything that you do. Don't wait. Nothing's ever perfect. Fuck it. I'm not perfect. I'm sure somebody is 20 times better at lighting than me, and they're like, yo, you should have put the tube light this way. Fuck your setup, this and that. I'm learning. To me, this is just a quick little, I got some light in my face. I got this around me, practical light next to me, all this shit. It is what it is. The real content, the real message is what I'm speaking to the camera. So yeah, I'm training and I'm getting back into conditioning. The last couple months were tough with business, just staying on track. Partly my fault too for diet-wise. I definitely needed to focus more on the nutritional aspect of things, but it's okay. Things happen, and life is a roller coaster ride. I haven't like blown myself out and I'm not out of shape. I'm just in more so of like a quick burst energy type of shape, and I need to get back into a conditioning type state. So I'm going to be splitting my time between OG. I'm going to be splitting my time between Tom still, because I did want to do the tactical games in New Hampshire this July. I don't know if it's going to happen. There's a lot of shooting I still need to do, and fundamentals I still need to get down. Luckily, I have a lot of amazing people that are willing to help me out with that. But with it being so vague and living in New York, gun laws, gun control, stuff like that, even though you may own them, it's still pretty difficult to do run and gun and run a course and fire under duress. You can go to the range, you can shoot, but that's kind of the extent of it up here. So there's definitely a lot more that I'd need to do to become more efficient in that type of modality. I hate that fucking word. It's just people using buzzwords, but it really is. Is that even the right word? I don't even know if that's the right word. Let's look this up. Let's look this up together. I'm using words I don't even know the definition to. Modality meaning. Let's see. Because I think I know what that means. I saw Aaron Rodgers get caught up on this word on with Pat McAfee. The harmony and touch of a modality. That's the definition? That's not a fucking definition. A particular mode in which something exists or is experienced or expressed. Okay. I guess it makes sense. Sure. We're going to go with it. Modality. And, fuck. And yeah, just enjoying life to the most that we can while still trying to be serious, but not be serious. I've never been, I think life has made me more serious as I've gotten older, but I can't lose that fun edge spark, because the second we start growing up and we lose that kid in us, that fun side, that question things, laugh at stupid jokes or noises or what have you, farts, I don't know, a little bit of everything. The second that we lose that, we just, oh man, the world just calluses over your yourself, it just calluses over you and you just become too hardened and cold. I'm sure you guys know and have seen a lot of people like that. So definitely trying not to be like that. But anyway, episode 119 or 120. Dude, why do I always do this? I'm the worst when it comes to remembering the episodes. This might be 120. Francesca might be 121, if I'm not mistaken. I'm the worst. Oh, no, this is 119. Jesus. Francesca's 120. So this is episode 119 of Rizzology. Please hit that subscribe button. We got a lot more coming through. I'm going to start doing some more daily videos, whatnot, of... I don't want to promise things, but I'm going to try. I'm really going to make an attempt to get some more content out there on a regular basis, because it does force you to just get better and better. Once again, working that muscle, working my creativity muscle. One of the things that I talk to a lot of and I'll end on this. One of the things that I talk to a lot of creatives about is when you do all of this by yourself and you're a solopreneur and you wear all the hats, you wear the editing hat, the shooting hat, the drone operator, the lighting, the sound, all that stuff. It's not that you lose your creativity. You just have too much to focus on. And when you have too much to focus on, you definitely have to divvy up that mentality and time in certain areas. So I want to be more proficient in the creativity aspect, because a lot of times that's what I'm hired for. I'm hired to be a creative. I'm hired for, shaping a brand, helping them put content out and whatnot. I want to just continually stay sharp in that aspect. So as I grow, I'll have other people handle different areas of my business so I can work on it, growing it, and then staying true to why I started this, which was to make cool videos, fuck around, have fun, and just do cool shit, because that's really all it comes down to at the end of the day. But I appreciate all y'all for fucking with me. But for now, peace.